47th Street to learn about the businesses of watches. I got a good friend over there. He's got a booth in 47th. His name is Asher. I think he has also an English name, but I think Asher is good. That's how I know him. We're going to go to his booth and we're going to interview him and ask him what's going on in the watch industry, what makes one watch more expensive than the other, how does this industry work, who makes the listings, is this like a wrap report system? So we're driving right now, me and my CFO right here, Michael. We're driving right here. Say hello, Michael. Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, so, by the way, we had an awesome podcast just now. We recorded with Jillian Michaels. It was an awesome podcast with Kira Deneen. She's the host of Midnight Market. We're going to post that at Midnight Market also. In addition, we're going to post this interview in Midnight Market, plus in our iShook main channel and iShook.tv. So look it up there, okay, guys? So we're on our way to 47. We're driving to Manhattan. When we get there, we're gonna, start recording. All right, guys, see you then. Here with a good friend, Asher. Yeah, that's it. Or you had a street name. Ash. That's a good name, Ash. So Ash, how you doing, brother? How's everything? So we want to know about the businesses, this watch industry. So many is going on in 47 on social and all that. Let's get people the real deal, how things work. What do you think? So first question, how do these things even get established that this is one price or another price? What makes the prices more or less differentiated between each other?
So the market is based off something very simple. It's based off supply and demand.
Okay.
You have a certain supply of watches, but there's a large demand. If that's the case, where there's such a large demand and a certain supply, that's what dictates the price being so high. For example, at least 50 to 60% of Rolex watches right now, they're selling for above retail. Why? Because if you go into a Rolex store, these watches that you want, they're not available in the Rolex retail store. Rolex is spending, I can't count this amount of money on rent and older advertising. Meanwhile, you go into older stores and they have absolutely no inventory available for anybody. For you to buy from Rolex direct, you have to have a relationship. Spend a lot of money with them, build a certain type of relationship between you and the retailer you're working with. If you don't have that kind of relationship, you're not buying anything from Rolex.
Really?
Right? Yeah. The only time they're going to start, they might sell you something, but they're going to sell you something that's not worth the money that the street value is worth. You know what I mean? For example, you're going to buy a watch with Rolex for, let's say, $13,000, $14,000. Meanwhile, the second-hand market on it is $20,000, $21,000. Why? Because supply is very limited.
I didn't do this deliberately in the industry?
I don't think it's deliberately. It's just, I feel like there was a very big jump when it came to just people making a lot of money over COVID, certain classes of people, and they just had a very high demand in the watches. There was a time where before this, you can go into a Rolex and they can give you a watch below retail. You're buying 15-20% under retail directly from Rolex. This was maybe 6, 7, 8 years ago. You know, like.
Do you have like a sample of Rolex that we can see that tells us how it works?
Here. This is the perfect example. This watch in Rolex retails for anywhere, I think, for around $12,000 or $13,000, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I think Rolex. Here on 47th Street, you're not gonna find one for less than $19,000, $20,000. That's for something that's pre-owned. You want something that's literally like unworn, new, that's coming directly from Rolex, dated a couple of weeks ago, you're paying $22,000 for the watch. That's almost $10,000 more than the retail value. Why? Because again, very desirable watch, not a lot of supply, which is why the price is so high on it.
So let's give an example. This kind of watch, how do you think it was actually created, ballpark?
That I don't know. I don't really know the logistics behind how many items per watch was made for specific items. I can't tell you.
Are there any data sets or data platforms that give us a list of how many watches were sold in a year?
Not that I know. I mean, there are some platforms that discuss and talk about like market of watches. I don't know the names of it. I can double check to find out.
Yeah, we can put it down in our.
It'll tell you. It actually, I think I have the website saved on my phone. It tells you the retail price. It tells you the market price, and then it tells you like it's more logistics. But it's not accurate. It's not as accurate.
So there's no real set number. It's just what the market, like you guys would say, would be the price, and so on and so forth, or what you're throwing for the price in the market. So basically, if a guy comes to you and says, this is what I'm willing to pay, and that's how the prices are set.
Basically.
Yeah? Could say that.
Basically.
Now,
someone comes to you and tells you.
So obviously Rolex is not the only brand.
No, the same thing goes with Audemars Piguet, AP. You go into an AP store, They will have a couple of items available, but all the desirable watches are not available, and they're all trading for more than retail for the same exact reason. Same thing goes for Patek Philippe. Same thing goes for Richard Mille. Obviously, all these high-end luxury items, it's all going for above retail on the second-hand market because.
So let's take another watch in comparison, right? Like what will be the comparison in style? Like let's try to define like the people's for them. We're just novices, right? Figure out what they're doing.
Here's a watch. I can actually compare this.
All right, the guys, this is how things really are done. Hard work. It's not overnight. Hard work, guys.
So this is an example of a watch that on the second-hand market, it's the same price more or less as to the retail market.
Really? Wow.
Why? Because I guess the demand is not as great for this. It's a full gold date. It's a 40 millimeter. It retails for about, I think, anywhere between $38,000 to $39,000. After tax, you're paying approximately $41,000, $42,000. On the second-hand market, you're paying the same price. If you're getting something that's unworn, yeah.
Wow.
If you're buying something pre-owned, which is something like this, it's going to cost you less. You'll pay in the high 30s.
So this is over market price. Second hand, exactly. And this is more base market.
This is more like it's very close to retail.
So guys, just to see, so basically, it's basically what people are desiring, right? It's a desirability factor. So what a person wants to wear? Does he want to wear this or does he want to wear that? So it's about perception ultimately.
It's about perception. It's about people's whatever they like as opposed to what they don't like, what they want to wear, what they don't want to wear. Some people are not too flashy. They don't want to wear a full gold watch. They'd rather wear something more sportier. From my understanding, most of the sports models are the ones that are going above retail. You know, like the GMTs, the Sky Dwellers, the Daytona is a very desirable watch. The Daytona stainless steel going well above retail.
How much about retail?
Also like 10, maybe even $15,000 above retail.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's second hand.
Second hand. But a gold Daytona, like the one I'm wearing right now, a full gold Daytona, is going also close to retail. For the most part, most of the gold items are going to the same price as the retail market. But all the stainless steel sports models are trading for above retail.
Really?
And those are the watches you're not going to be able to go and pick up in Rolex. For you to get a watch like this at Rolex, you got to spend with them $100,000, $200,000 in garbage. That's not worth the money. If you're gonna come to me and say, Ash, I want to sell this watch to you.
You got to go to Rolex, get the undesirable watches before you even get the high-end.
You got to spend money with them. You got to build a relationship with them, and then they're going to start offering you these watches that are more above, like this or something for the same.
I don't think that even makes sense business-wise. How does that even make sense? I don't get it.
Listen, look what they did. They made a very big demand for the watches.
Yeah.
Of course.
What's your favorite watch?
I'm wearing my favorite watch.
Oh, there you go, guys.
Daytona. It's a 40 millimeter watch. I'm a small guy. I'm not a big guy, so it fits perfectly on my wrist.
Wow.
Any color, any stainless steel, precious metal, whatever it is, as long as it's this watch, it's my favorite Rolex.
So I know people have the ventures that they want to make their own watches. How is that industry?
Make watches?
Yeah.
So
is that industry is it hard to get into it or?
It is hard. It's very tedious. It's not so simple making a watch. All the components of a watch is very, very, very tedious. That's what makes these watches so expensive. All the components.
So basically, the structure and the build of the watch is also a factor of the price of the watch.
Definitely.
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 So Rolex, I guess, has their own type of.
Yeah, you can. Someone can give you a watch that looks like a Rolex, ticks like a Rolex, tells time like a Rolex, but it's not a real Rolex, and it's a fraction of the price.
Right.
It's an aftermarket watch. They try to build it the same as Rolex, but why is it that watch costs $1,000, this one costs $20?
Because they're using different movements.
It's different movements. It's not the same metal, not the same craftsmanship. The watch is not going to last as long. You see, do an experiment. Wear a real GMT, wear a fake GMT. For 2 weeks, you're going to see a very big difference. For sure.
Wow.
For sure.
What else do you have here that can give us more of an example? I mean, I don't know what else you got. More or less. What else can you give us an example for people to more understand when they're coming to a watch what they're getting? Like if they're getting it usually, like you said, maybe I guess those two watches have a stability on the value, right?
Okay.
What about the watches that don't have a stability? Are there watches that if you buy that you can lose? Do people understand that they're buying luxury, they're not necessarily buying value?
Of course.
I'm not trying to belittle your business here. I'm just trying to say what people have to be aware of what they're getting, right?
At the end of the day, the main concern is for you to buy right. Doesn't matter what watch, doesn't matter what brand it is. You got to know what you're getting into, and you got to make sure you're purchasing correctly. If you're buying something like a Hublot, you should be paying under retail. That's where your money's safe. That way, whenever you decide to sell it to somebody, you're gonna get the same. Yeah. you gotta be smart when it comes to the market. You can't just go start throwing money unless you're one of those people who has a lot of money, doesn't care about money.
Right.
Spend the money.
Right. So all our iShook fans, you should know if you want to buy a watch, come to Usher right here, man. Ash right here, bro. He's gonna tell you the truth, how it is, and he'll take care of you. Honestly, I see it already. And plus, I want to bring you guys to a person who I didn't know. I know this guy for a long time. He's a very good guy. Few other questions in regards to the watch industry and this new, I guess, moda where people are trying to flip like you guys are doing all the time, right? Yeah. How hard is it, honestly? Tell people the truth in a sense. Is it hard or is it easy? Is it something that you can get into? You know, what is it?
It's definitely something you guys can get into. It's not that it's a difficult thing. You guys just have to understand one big thing. It's very, very easy to make a mistake, and your mistakes are going to cost you a lot of money.
Right.
It's not little money. You're going to make a big mistake that's going to cost you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Which I made those mistakes, and I've taken those losses, and it's not like I can do anything about it. It's done. That's it.
You got to eat it. You got to take it.
It's a wrap. You know, you're losing 15, 20, 30, 40, 50. I know people who lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in this industry. You know, based off the market, based off what they purchased, you know, they're assuming they're buying something new, but the guy who sold it, it's not new, or the components inside has been played with.
Right. So, message to the people, to the fans, the watchers.
It's very important for you guys
careful.
to know who you're buying from. You have to trust your watch dealer. You have to trust your jeweler. That's the most important thing in this industry.
And I guess extensive research on the product.
Extensive research,
like you just said. I mean, you gave us a lot of features, whether it's stability on the watch, up on the watch, low on the watch, basically how the watch is in demand, and that's how you're going to have a stability on the price of the watch, right? Which are the things that, guys, these are the things that you really need to know. I think in almost any business, you got to learn the business and how the structure works, right? Now, I know also you're in the diamond industry, right? So I want to ask you something. What is this lab grown? I mean, lab grown was something that was shunned upon, like many years ago. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, only lab grown people want. What the heck is going on?
So the reason why people are more desirable towards, I'm not talking about people, I'm talking about like retail clients. They don't want to spend the amount of money that natural diamonds cost. They can buy the same exact diamond that was made in a laboratory for a fraction of the price.
Wow.
A fraction of the price. A 3-carat diamond natural right now, good color, good quality, is going to cost you about $30,000. $28,000 to $30,000. I can get you the same stone for about $300.
Not bad. By the way, guys, I want you to know this guy can also make custom rings for you guys. And honestly, you know, if you need anything, go to this guy, Ash. Ash can do everything. So another question is, and obviously this is the main question, right? You know we're doing cryptocurrency, right? And I think we made a deal that we potentially can do SHK buys of certain watches, right? Which we're going to list.
If you're standing
so I want you guys to know, we're standing there. I want the guys to
standing-
know that our cryptocurrency is going to be able to use to buy. It's iShook X is already available.com, and you can actually have an e-commerce with crypto. So that's what we're doing, and that's what we're establishing. And if anyone who wants to buy a watch can go on iShook X with any of the Ash's watches and buy it, no problem. And we're standing behind it, no doubt about it.
That's all I need to hear.
Yeah,
If you're gonna
that's
tell me, Ash, I'm
worry
behind
about
this
it,
crypto, I stand behind it.
Yeah, so
Everything is
e-commerce,
there.
first e-commerce site with cryptocurrency purchases. Honestly, so listen, in regards to the watches, and going back to the watches, I just have one more question. The watch itself, right, and the values of the watches, is there a possibility that a long-term hold of a watch is actually the worst thing to do, or is it more short-term is the best thing? Like, which is best, which is worse, or is there no real way to determine?
You're never gonna be able to determine. You're never gonna. There was a jump in the price out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, there was a jump. A $50,000 watch was selling for $100,000. A $20,000 watch was selling for $50,000. And at that time, at the peak, there were a lot of people who were greedy, and they said, you know what, let me stick it out a little more. I can get more money for it. I get more money for it. Most of those people regret it. Because, again, the same way it went up from 50 to 100, went right back down to 50.
Right.
Overnight.
So I tell you guys always, it's like when you go for a parking spot. You know there's a parking spot right in front of you. Take it. It might be 2 blocks away,
Yeah,
but the hell you want to get closer to the,
I-
and then you lose, right? Then you lose.
I was in those situations where I bought a watch at the high, and I was supposed to sell it at market where I lost money because I was greedy, and I said, you know what, let me hold
So
it.
we're learning 2 rules here. Take the opportunity at the time.
100%.
Don't waste it.
Don't waste
right? And always be aware of the current markets.
Sure.
Basically, you get these watches, if you're buying them for investments, always be aware. And then hit it when the opportunity is. It's more like a stock market. Right? When you see an opportunity for sale of a stock, because
When you're making money, don't fall in love with your inventory,
Yeah.
especially if you're in the business. Don't fall in love with your inventory. You're making money, sell it. If you're a watch collector, just make sure you're paying a good price for it.
Right.
If you're keeping it for yourself, Just, I'm a watch enthusiast as opposed to being just a watch dealer. I'm a big fan of luxury watches, so I have a collection of my own, and that collection I'm hoping to grow. And it's not a collection that I'm willing to sell. It's something I'm going to hold to the side. Whatever happens in the future will happen. If it's going to bring money to my kids, it's going to bring money to my kids. If it doesn't,
listen, there's still value.
Sentimental, for
it's
sure.
not like
Your
you
money
lost
is
value.
safe.
You still have some value in the watch, even if as a collector. So Ash, thank you so much for this this pod, guys. Anytime you want, we're gonna list all his information on our YouTube channel and in the descriptions. I wish you a lot of success, brother. Honestly, I appreciate this as well, that you're willing to take us our time to sit with us, talk with us, and actually explain how the heck this business works. Because I'm a novice in this. I have no idea why. You see, I don't even have a watch. I don't even own a watch. Not yet. Well, we'll get there soon, right? Maybe we'll bring Daniel Balder. Hey, Danny, maybe we'll bring you here one day, right? That would be nice. Get him a watch for his birthday. Yeah, definitely. We'll come here with Daniel one day. All right, thank you so much, Ash. Much respect. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for coming by.
Always. That's a wrap, bro. There we go. We did good.